Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for the Immortal Thor issue 9, 2023. Ooh, crazy looking one there with the Enchantress ripping apart a Thor comic, and that kind of fits with what's going on there. Ooh, and this is Legacy number 770. We are getting close to Legacy number 800, so keep on the eye for that. So, let us see what we start off with here. That is the land of lost content. Lost content. I see it, content, I believe. I see it shining plain. The happy highways where I went and cannot come again. A.E. Houseman, a Shropshire lad. Interesting. That is the land of lost content. I see it shining plain, and the happy highways where I went and cannot come again. Interesting. I'll have to see how that kind of works out here. So, we start off with a really fucking great page of Thor cracking into Dario Augur's stupid voice. An angry storm is a terrible thing. Thor had met with his mother Gaia and received her message that if the mortals of Earth could not change, they would not survive. To force that change while there was still time, she had invoked her fellow elder gods, who had in turn wreaked vast havoc on the innocent. But could her son be a force of change instead? One less destructive, more targeted? Could Thor serve as Gaia's mercy? Thor believed he could, indeed. He had a target in mind, an enemy of old, the head of the Roxxon Corporation, Minotaur. An angry storm is a terrible thing, an angry storm god more so. And I just love the artwork. It just captures, I mean, look at Thor there, and fucking Dario, his, like, gruesome visage. Thor's fucking rippling muscle as he's like, I'm calling Mjolnir in my ass. It's Mr. Dario Augur when I'm at work, Thor. This is a place of business, after all, not your royal rumpus room. Do they have property damage on Asgard? Have you the slightest idea how many laws you're currently breaking, I wonder? Those elevator doors were real gold, you know, inlaid with diamonds from my private mine. Gold and diamonds, you say? And what is your desk made of? Finest Brazilian mahogany, as he just fucking thundercracks it. And I like the kind of staggered kind of pacing of the paneling here. Finest matchwood. Is that meant to impress me, Thor? Should I quake in my tailored shoes? You should understand the limits of your mortal laws, for I obey them as a courtesy, and only when they serve justice. And I'm like, that is great. And if they don't serve justice, they're not worth shit. And you are a fine one to talk of damage as you poison the earth itself. As Midgard's child, the true son of the soil, I will tell you plain, creature, my mother is ill-pleased with thee. I think I'll make my next desk out of Californian redwood, buy American as it were. Your temper is getting the better of you, Thor. Not really, dumb fuck. My wrath is nothing compared to that of Gaia, and it may already be too late to spare humanity from it. Because of the greed of those like you, she has unlocked a door that could bring an end to this world. Ha! Is that all you're bringing to the table? The end of the world? Because you know what they say, Thor. And we see him laughing with the gruesome head visage that he's got. Don't threaten me with a good time. And it's like, shit, what the fuck? That is gnarly. Seeing that and then having the paneling there to kind of like bring us even further in. There burned. The land was desolate, leached of life. The only clouds above were ash and poison, drifting like corpses in the windless sky. An angry storm is a terrible thing. A dead storm more so. Ode's blood. Welcome to the future, Thor. After I got it how I want it. You brought me, you have brought me through time? Hardly. This is a proof of concept. A little like a hologram suite. Still, it's an easy mistake to make, isn't it? Aye. A little too easy. The illusion is too perfect for mortal means to conjure. Yep, no hologram could bring sweat to a god's brow. Yet even so, I should have guessed it. Something is not right with me. And though Thor could not quite think what that might be, he instinctively took his put his hand to his axe, Tormod, and the axe felt heavy in his hand. It's like, interesting. And then we see how Dario does this kind of shit. After the human race has been downsized, pruned to fit the next evolution of capitalism, it will look like this, the Roxxon. The exterior provides security against outsiders, not that there are any left, but it's the thought that counts, and just seeing the stupid shit that he does for this. While the inside is an exclusive, climate-controlled paradise for select Roxxon customers. Can mortal money truly buy escape from the apocalypse? They like to fucking think so, but that never works out. Wealth buys power, and power is a currency your precious mortals are all too eager to accept. Establishing a ruling class is the easy part. Once we key the life support to their biodata, not to mention that of their heirs, of course, well, the rabble will learn their place one way or another, as we see someone with a collar around their neck, and of course this looks to be pretty much the Enchantress and Scourge looking like that. That's the sales pitch anyway for the billion-dollar suckers. I'll be on some other world, starting over in my image. Aye, a much more sensible dream. Do you know why, Augur? After all this time, do you know why you kill your own planet for coin? What caused this black winter in your heart? I like that kind of callback to Black Winter. Oh, I could make a speech, I suppose. Some rocks tube ready blather, pop fascism for the rubes and the tech bros. Yeah, that's unfortunately how it's kind of going lately. I could blame my tragic childhood, or the lust for blood and cruelty that never abates, or revenge, of course. You'd believe revenge, but the truth, Thor? Absolute and unvarnished, and what we get here is just pretty much what... It's stupid, but that's all he kind of wants. I like it when the number goes up, that's all, because that means I win, that means I'm better, and that's all there is. Anyway, think fast, Thunder God. It's like, that is the stupidest fucking reason possible. As Thor's almost gets smacked with a lawnmower, but it turns from a lawnmower to Scourge with an axe as he's like, ah! And that, I really like how that denotes the action and momentum. Didn't quite snap his spine there, Scourge. The last person who told me how to do my job is buried in 2 graves. This mortal replica you built is a long way from the axe I'm used to. Besides, he's Thor Odin's son, so it'll take more than one blow. Scourge, the executioner, I was warned of your coming, but to find you here, working for him... Ah, you disappoint me, as Thor's hammer pretty much destroys his axe. You're disappointed? You're bringing Uru, and the Bullman here gives me carbon steel. Might as well be paper, Mjolnir. As Mjolnir then drops, it's like he has the leverage, twisting the hammer from my grasp ere I can think. And then he starts figuring out that there's something wrong going on here. I see you have a second weapon, Thunderer. So do I. And then we see an interesting kind of thing as he gets smacked out of the panel. This one's very interesting because it's something that Thor can't really fight against as easily. Once again, Thor was too slow, as Scourge's great blow set the Odinson flying, right out of the illusion. Ow, Scourge has grown stronger, it seems, and quicker, while I find myself sluggish, stumbling from one error to another. I came here with no true plan of my own, and thus fell into Augur's. When did I become so foolish? I feel I am surrounded by clues. Mjolnir, my hammer. Tormod, my axe, to me. Yet I cannot see the obvious, as his hammer comes to him, but it's like, what? You should put an inscription on this one too, Thor, just so people know how it works. Whoever holds this axe, if they be wise, shall possess, well, they'll possess the axe of Thor, but it's a nice axe. Heavy as all hell, but any wisdom I ever had was sparse and hard-won. I only truly became wise at Gjallerbru on the day of my ending. Remember when I stood in your place, when I stole your death? It was the making of me, Thor. It's like, oh shit, what the fuck's going on here? I want it back. My dream showed a prophecy of doom forever carries thy godly weapons. So now that will be me. You speak in riddles, Executioner. If you stand outside Valhalla's hall, you are again a citizen of Asgard, subject and responsibility of the Allfather, and Thor will not allow any Asgardian to meet death without a fight. Ill-chosen words, for they fell on unseen ears. While an angry storm god is a terrible thing, as you see them kind of getting ready to face off, an angry enchantress is more so. And they say Loki's the liar in the family. And it's like, oh shit. That's a great page there. I mean, it sucks because I don't like Thor getting like hit like that, but damn, the use of green and everything. Amora. If we're speaking of those who you let die, Scourge is the obvious example. I was most upset at that. As I recall, it was Heimdall who comforted me. Good old Heimdall. I'm glad someone was there. Whatever happened to him? Oh, Scourge, you big silly. He was allowed to meet death, of course, stabbed in the back by a mere mortal. And where was Thor? Oh, busy, busy. My children were kind afterward, ashamed of me, but alive. Dear Alvi and dear Eirik. Eirik was murdered soon after by a fellow student at that damn magic school. Where was Thor? Oh, busy, busy, busy. As we start seeing things going nutty and gnarlier. There was truth in her words, one that stung Thor's very heart, but he had spoken true as well. And he would not give up the fight. The illusion returns, and my foes may be hidden anywhere within it. I must keep my wits about me, and yet there is a fog upon my mind. Tormod, the axe that signifies keen wit, is no longer obedient to me. My thoughts are clumsy, and so am I. This is your doing, Amora. Bravo, what tipped you off? As she, transforms back. Enough games, enough tricks. Tell me what magic you weaved about me. The oldest magic, the secret fire that Uller lit and his brother Bragi sang at, the telling fire. As gods, we are susceptible to such magic. Our tale is as much part of us as our bone and blood, or the thread of our fate. For such as us, it is truly the magic art, but it's a little different here on Muddy Midgard, wouldn't you say, Dario? As she has that and starts utilizing the stuff that Dario has. Art. I never liked that word. I prefer content. It's like, fuck you, Augur. You son of a bitch. Augur, coward among cowards. Show your true self. Face me as a man. It's so efficient. It's the unit of product to be sold, and the feeling you're selling with it. In such an anxious world, what? Who doesn't want to be content? Who doesn't want to be content or content? And it's interesting to have the different kind of use of the words. As Dario fucking headbutts his ass, it's like, Are you content now, Thor? Monster, trick my senses and cloud my mind as you will. There's one thing I know as a certainty. You will meet your death on this day, in this very room. I swear it, beast in a man's skin. I swear it. No, I'm meeting death. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? I've got your axe. All I need is the hammer, so give it up and let me take your place. Don't make us do it the hard way. No, never, as he freaking goes and, smashes Scourge's face in. If death waits, it waits for me, and I will fight it back, for the Thunder God bows to no one. The thread of my fate is my own, Scourge. My tale is my own. The hard way, then. I was making a joke earlier, Thor. A pun, you see. Your tale isn't your own, not here. What are you content, Thor? As we see this, which is going to be interesting going later on. This, Roxanne Thor. A periodical? Is this another illusion? Quite real. One more thing I hid from you. But I'm glad it's time for the reveal. I put a lot of work into it. Some time ago, you made an error, Thor. You allowed someone to publish your adventures, not public domain retellings of ancient legends, month-by-month reports of your current exploits. Which is interesting. It's like, but who would know that? I'm sure it seemed harmless enough. Why not sign your story away for a charitable donation? It's only ink on paper, only these days, it's not. The story isn't just a story. It's a movie, a toy, a cake top, or an entire corporate machine. Now I control that machine. It brings me profit. It brings me power. It makes the number go up. And that's sweet enough, but when Scourge and the Enchantress approached me, I discovered that it can do even more. It can take away your power. It's like, fuck you. I don't have Loki's innate skill with story magic, but thanks to Dario, what I lack in finesse I make up for in volume. A couple of million mortals reading this, on paper, on free websites, a panel at a time on social media, that's a spell big enough to affect even an Allfather. It's like, holy fucking shit. Strange should be like, no! What's drawing the power? What's going on that? Probably Uller's flame. Your story on Midgard, Thor, the story of a boor, an oaf, a fool. No wonder you're befuddled. It's like an infection in the bones, so this retelling is infected and dulled Thor's wits to make up and be that kind of story. While you're in Midgard, you have to constantly fight it off, and that effort makes you less in many ways. Go on, take it. I know you're curious. It's a distraction, a trap. What, you think we'll sucker punch you as you turn the pages? Read it, Thor. Know your enemy. Dive in. And so enchanted Thor did. And to dive into a story is not so terrible a thing. But when the story climbs out, it's just a comic after all, is more so, as we then see the Roxanne Thor pop up with the Roxanne hammer. The Land of Lost Content. And then we get the preview for this one, as that'll be coming out. The very comic that Thor is reading at the end of this issue, Roxanne Presents Thor Issue 1, will be available for you to read in 2 weeks. Don't miss it. And I am going to be reading and reviewing this. The Roxanne Age of Comics begins, and his secret identity as AI spokesguru Chad Hammer, the son of Odin, knows Mama Guy is a top priority for heroes and for business. When a group of insane environmental activists takes saving the Earth too far, it's time to show them the wisdom of both sides, as Thor. But which god of evil is prompting the kids to rebel? Could it be Loki, god of evil? Featuring an all-star cast of heroes, Minotaur, Executioner, Enchantress, and the Thor Truck. This is a story of the Roxanne Thor, and is a vital part of the Absolution mega event. If they be worthy, returns with next month's Immortal Thor issue 10. Write us at So, I enjoyed this one because it was an interesting one that Thor can't really fight off just at a pace. We had seen inklings of this going on in the retelling of when Thor and Loki met Utgard Loki and figuring out all that. But seeing Thor being befuddled and losing his weapons and Scourge being like, give me your death, dude. It'll be interesting to see why he kind of wants that and what will kind of like change up with that. But we see that Dario and Enchantress and Scourge are a mighty force and they are really giving Thor a run for his money, and I don't know how he's going to get out of this. This is going to be a nutty one because how do you fight this kind of spell? He would need Loki's help as the Skald, as the teller of tales, the god of stories, but I don't know how Loki would be able to kind of do that at this point. And if Loki would want to do that at this point, because this is kind of a big thing, like, I don't know how Thor's going to get out of this, and it'll be interesting to see how the other comic kind of works in, unless, even though they've written the Roxanne Thor to be an asshole, if he kind of, like, helps him out, and that might be the corner. So we'll have to see what goes on. I really enjoyed this. The art just was great to see. It does the action and the changing and the mystical elements so well, and the story is just like, holy shit, what's going to happen next? So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.